and we're not counting gang violence. Great.
Today we talk about Charlie Kirk, why he shoot out at a free space conversation. What's the truth behind? Charlie Kirk is one of America's leading conservative voices. He is the founder and president of Turning Point USA, the largest conservative youth organization in the country. As a best-selling author, national speaker, and political commentator, Charlie has become a fearless advocate for free speech, faith, and American values. From college campuses to national media, his mission is clear: to inspire and equip the next generation of conservatives. This is Charlie Kirk. Imagine a young man, barely out of high school, who set out to change the politics of an entire nation. A man who built a movement from scratch, mobilized students across America, and stood as one of the most polarizing voices of his generation. But on a September evening in Utah, a single bullet ended his life and shook American politics to its core. This is the story of Charlie Kirk. Who was Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk, born Charles James Kirk on October 14, 1993, came from the quiet Chicago suburb of Arlington Heights, Illinois. Raised in nearby Prospect Heights, Charlie grew up in a household that valued both ambition and stability. His father, an architect, designed homes and commercial projects that shaped suburban skylines, while his mother, a former commodities trader turned mental health counselor, balanced financial sharpness with compassion. Unlike many kids his age, Charlie was not drawn only to sports or video games. He was fascinated by politics and leadership. At just 15, he became captivated by the optimism and rhetoric of Ronald Reagan, often quoting him in school debates. Teachers noticed his sharp tongue, quick rebuttals, and confidence in public speaking. By the time he was in Wheeling High School, Kirk had already interned for a U.S. Senate campaign and was speaking openly about conservative values. When he briefly attended Harper College, it didn't take long for him to feel out of place. Sitting in classrooms, listening to professors, he felt restless. What excited him was not theory, but action, engaging young people directly and shaping the national conversation. Just one semester in, Charlie dropped out, a bold move that shocked many around him, but became the turning point that would define his life. Building Turning Point USA. At only 18 years old, Kirk co-founded Turning Point USA, TUSA, in 2012 with the help of a small team and a few wealthy donors who believed in his vision. His idea was simple yet radical. Take the conservative fight to college campuses, where he believed liberal ideology dominated. TUSA started with nothing more than folding tables, flyers, and Kirk's relentless energy. He would show up at universities, debate students, hand out pamphlets, and spark arguments. What seemed small at first quickly grew into a national movement. By 2016, TUSA had chapters across hundreds of colleges, rallying students around issues like free markets, limited government, and Christian values. Kirk became a master of media tactics. His Prove Me Wrong style events, where students could sit across from him and challenge his beliefs, turned into viral moments. He blended activism with showmanship, and soon, big names in conservative politics took notice. He wrote books, launched The Charlie Kirk Show, and became a fixture on television and social media. For many young conservatives, Charlie Kirk was more than an activist. He was a mentor, a leader, and a symbol of resistance against what they saw as leftist dominance in schools and culture. The tragedy, how he died. On the evening of September 10, 2025, Kirk was in Orem, Utah, speaking at Utah Valley University during his American Comeback Tour. The event was meant to be routine, another chance for him to spar with students and promote his vision for America's future. But what was supposed to be just another speech turned into a nightmare. As he addressed the crowd in a lively back-and-forth session, a single sharp sound cracked through the air, a gunshot. For a moment, many thought it was a firecracker. Then panic spread. Kirk collapsed, struck in the neck by a bullet fired from a rooftop over 140 yards away. Chaos erupted. Students screamed, security rushed in, and emergency teams fought desperately to save him. He was rushed to the hospital, but despite every effort, Charlie Kirk was pronounced dead. He was just 31 years old. Aftermath: shock, mourning, and investigation. The news spread across the United States like wildfire. Supporters were stunned, opponents were cautious, and the political world was thrown into turmoil. For conservatives, especially young activists, it felt like a devastating blow. Turning Point USA was immediately flooded with new membership requests and messages of grief. Former President Donald Trump ordered flags to fly at half-staff nationwide in Kirk's honor, calling him a warrior for America's youth. Vigils were held across campuses, and thousands gathered online to share tributes. But the grief was mixed with anger. Questions poured in. Who did this? Why? Was this politically motivated? Within days, authorities arrested 22-year-old Tyler James Robinson, charging him with aggravated murder. Prosecutors revealed that the attack was politically motivated, and they announced plans to seek the death penalty. The trial is expected to become one of the most watched in American history. Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk, broke her silence with a moving statement. "My husband lived for his mission. His voice may have been silenced, but his message will only grow louder." Her words turned mourning into resolve for many of Kirk's followers. The bigger picture: why his death matters. Charlie Kirk's assassination didn't just claim one life. It struck at the heart of America's already fragile political climate: political violence. His death was the latest in a disturbing trend where political disagreements spill into deadly violence. Commentators compared it to the assassinations of Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., and John F. Kennedy, moments that shook the nation's conscience. Polarization. Even before the investigation ended, conspiracy theories spread online. Some blamed left-wing extremism, others suggested foreign influence, and misinformation flooded social media. The divide deepened. Legacy questions. What happens to Tupuza without its founder? Will the movement grow stronger in his memory, or collapse without his charismatic leadership? One thing was certain: Charlie Kirk's death became more than a tragedy. It became a symbol of America's divisions, a reminder of how dangerous the nation's political climate has become. Final thoughts: the legacy of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a man who believed he could change America, and for many, he did. He built a platform that gave young conservatives a voice, challenged the dominance of liberal ideas in universities, and turned himself into a national figure before the age of 30. But he was also polarizing, admired and hated in equal measure. His critics accused him of spreading division and radicalizing students, while his followers saw him as a courageous defender of truth and freedom. Now, his sudden and violent death has cemented him as a historic figure. Whether you agree with his politics or not, Charlie Kirk's story is a stark reminder that words have power, leadership has consequences, and in a divided America, the line between debate and violence is thinner than ever. Charlie Kirk was admired by some, despised by others, but at just 31 years old, he had already shaped a generation of American politics. His voice is gone, but the arguments he started, the movements he built, and the divisions he amplified will echo for years to come.